Well, it's Monday, June 20th. That means, hey, we're starting Magic Camp. Salutations, kindred spirits. Welcome to my magical universe. Well, hey, we'll be live every day this week at 1 p.m., sharing a little magic knowledge, some tricks, reviews. Hey, I'm going to have some guests. I got some great guests lined up this week. We're going to talk about all this as we get going here today with a little bit of prestidigitation. I figure you guys show up for these events. Sure, you want to see me talk about things, but really you want to see a little prestidigitation, a little magician. So we're going to start that today with the obligatory card trick. I have to. Oh, wait a minute. Sorry, it's my bad preparation. Got the wrong box here. Let me just. Okay, yeah, this will be. Okay, now we're ready to go. I've been hustling around getting things set up for the stream today. Wasn't quite ready for this, but now we're ready to go with the right color box. And I think I have some interesting information to share with you today as I've figured out some of the problems with card magic. Yeah, some of the problems with card magic. Too many cards. Yeah, it's too many cards. It's 52, which is a lot. You know, I talk a bunch. I move pretty quick. I figure, man, if we could do something with just a few cards, maybe like 5, then this would be easier for you to follow. And we'll do that right now. So what do we have? That's the ace, the deuce, the 3, the 4, and the 5. Nothing more, nothing less. And I'm hoping this will make it a little easier for you to follow. Now, let's keep your eye. Let's keep your eye on the ace. I had momentary audio fright there that I didn't have audio, but we're good. We're rolling. All right, watch the ace as it apparently goes into the packet, but somehow works its way up to the. Yeah, that's the trick. You put the ace into the packet, and somehow, some way, it works its way up to the. And here's what I'm thinking. That is too many cards. It's 4 cards, too many. We'll get rid of the ace here. We'll just use the 4 cards. You're going to want to keep your eye on that deuce. Watch the deuce of spades as it works its way from the bottom all the way to the. And now I'm thinking, 4 is too many. Let's just stick with the 3 cards. And hey, I'm thinking this, maybe instead of different ones, we could use all the same. So we could use the 3 of spades, and we could use another 3 of spades and another 3 of spades. Although in hindsight, actually more than one 3 of spades is just probably going to complicate things. So let's do this. Instead of using 3 cards or even 4 cards or 2, let's just use here. We'll just use the 1 card. Yeah, the 1 card. So I won't use the 4. I won't use the 5. I'll just use the 1 card. And now I'm thinking if I could fool you with 1 card, well, now maybe that's worth a like on the video. You could share the stream, leave some comments about the magic, about how we're excited about Magic Week. Hey, subscribe and follow if you haven't done that yet. This is my advice on making your card magic better. And that is your opening number for Magic Camp 2022. Hey, we're off to a good start. Now, I can say an open thanks to Chris Kenner for that wonderful effect. As I often do, we'll be talking about some of the origins, some of the history, and where you can learn these things. Maybe I'll talk about a little bit about what I did in that trick, but if you want to learn the full Monty, and speaking of Monty, actually, I think it's worth noting that Michael Weber, the genius close-up or mentalist, he does a lot of things. He actually originated this trick about the same time Chris did, has a wonderful 3-card Monty. Brent Braun is currently offering a great version of this with Color Monty Hacked. Not my favorite trick, the Color Monty, but Brent Braun's got a good version of it. Anyway, that was 5 speed. So if you have Chris Kenner's book, Out of Control, or maybe you can go to Theory 11, and yes, that's right. It's 100 points to Gryffindor. We're wearing our alumni shirt today in the inaugural Magic Camp kickoff. I figured I'd get in the camp counselor mindset. So what can I teach you about what I just did? Well, I don't want to teach you a lot, but I do want to teach maybe an obscure thing or two that you might not be familiar with. You want the secret finish to this, you're going to need to go find that Chris Kenner tutorial. You know what I'm maybe going to suggest here if you want to learn this trick is learn Derek Dingle's too many cards. Hey, I'm talking to you guys. Derek Dingle, wonderful New York card expert, originally from England. Too many cards. Regular deck, no gaffs, no extra crap, just regular deck, 5 cards. That's where this really the premise for that trick started. And I'll encourage you to learn too many cards from Derek Dingle as well. You know, I'm going to talk about just the opening production that I used to introduce the cards. You know, I did that quick razzmatazz production of the ace through the 5. And what I did here is I just had them set. I had 3 on top of the deck, 2 on the bottom. So I had a 5 and a 4 on the top and the bottom, a 2 and the 3 on the top and the bottom. So in this situation, 5, 2, 3, 4, and then the ace on the top. Now, I think this first production has a lot of value, and a lot of you won't be familiar with this. And what I like to do is do a little false cut. I think I use the Cap Casino false Sybil variant. This is a 4-packet false cut, so it looks like it's rearranging things, but actually those cards are staying in sequence. There's lots of false cuts you could use. Again, this is the Cap Casino 4-packet Sybil false variant. And I follow that up with Elmsley's little finger spinner. And that's what that production is. So it looks like the card is kind of flying out of the middle of the deck, but it's actually coming out of the top. So I do this action here. It's my little pinky that's just shooting it out of the corner. This is kind of akin to a one-handed top palm. This is the one-handed top palm when you're getting cards secretly. But this one is just a quick shake of the wrist. The pinky pushes on the corner, and it appears as though the card flies ideally randomly out of the middle. Pardon me for going off frame. From here, we just use the 2-card catch, which is the Reinhard Mueller move, actually based on a Hofzinser thing. You just hold the deck with a pressure from above and below, squeeze, and as you toss, maintain pressure of the top and bottom cards, and then do that with your other hand. And that is how I introduce the 5 cards. And I hope some of that information serves you well moving on into your magic life. But really what you want to do, go find that Derek Dingle trick. Too many cards. All right. I think we've talked enough about card magic. I have an agenda. I have a lot to talk about. Let's talk about what's going to be happening for the rest of this week. Now, first and foremost, I'm going to be inviting some guests onto the show. That's not happening today. Number one, I figured I'd be blabbering a lot about the upcoming festivities. I didn't want to get someone on here, glom up the works, and take up an hour of your time. But tomorrow at this time, we're going to be visiting with Jimmy Talks a Lot, the street performing legend. He's been doing it for 20 years. He's also one of my best friends, one of my all-time BFFs. He'll be here tomorrow, coming and streaming live from Texas. I'm sure we'll talk about busking, also talk about whatever you want to talk about. In addition to Jimmy, Wednesday, I just got off we were texting. Steve Reynolds, card man extraordinaire, a New Orleans local. He's going to drive over here. He's going to be in the studio live with me Wednesday. We're going to learn some card stuff. No doubt we'll talk about Marlowe. We'll talk about Brother John Hammond. Should be an exciting time with Steve Reynolds. So stay tuned for that on Wednesday. Looking forward to Thursday. I'm hoping to have Magic Mike Dardant in the house, but we'll put a pause on that till I'm sure. And then looking forward to Friday, I have 2 things going on. I know Mika Harris has said he's interested in coming on the show. We're going to talk to him later about his 6 a.m. call time. But beyond that, I got Alexander Osborne. Alexander Oz is going to visit us Friday. Alex is one of my all-time favorite, not just street performers, but magicians. His mind works on another level. And you guys are all in for a treat as camp counselor Alexander Osborne joins us. So that's going to happen. Hey, Robbie, good to hear. I figured for this time slot would be good for summertime, maybe some of our international visitors. And hey, international visitors, I'm going to try and squeeze in an extra session or two. How we doing over here? I'm going to try and squeeze in an extra session or two for you guys this week. So look for me early and or late. All right, so I had a plan for this segment, but I changed the plan pre-stream. Look what happened here. Check this out. The postman showed up. Postman showed up at my house right before it was about an hour ago. And that's going to be a little, let's do this. This is a box from Adam Wilbur at Volpine Creations. Let me see if we can make a little banner here and get Adam some. You know what I got? I got his website up. Let's look at Adam's website over here. Volpine Creations. It's a volpinecreations.com. And Adam has started this company. I think he started it maybe 2 years ago with a couple of releases. This, in case of emergency, his version of Card to Box. We're going to open this. You know what we're going to do? Here we go. We're just going to open this. I think most of the things that he's offering are in here. And note that this is a kindness from Adam to me. I was heading out for a thing last week, and I get where did I not have the opener? You'd think I would be prepared with the opener. I got a call from Mr. Wilbur, Adam Wilbur, and he says, "Hey, Mr. Conn, would you be interested in my stuff?" And I explained to him, "Heck yeah, I'd be interested in your stuff. I've been super interested in particular, the cups routine that should be in this box." I explained to Adam that I had to hold off from purchasing this cups routine. Number one, because I've done 8,000 cups and balls routines over the last year. So I haven't been super invested in buying new cups. But also, I've been spending a ton of money on these offerings, magic, tech, services. So I had to kind of dial back on my excess spending. Thankfully, as I was doing that, I got the hey ho from Adam just in time to get some new and free freebies in here to share with you guys. And hey, here's the deal. If I like this stuff, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to like at least one of them, I'm going to be offering these things to you through conjure.com. Now, let's start with this thing right here. What do we got? The what, when, where, when, and why wallet. So I've watched the demo on this. I'm not really prepared to demo any of this because, well, I've never practiced any of it. And as good magicians, we always practice and rehearse the stuff we perform. I've seen this routine online live. I would encourage you to go to Adam's website, watch the demos for that. That's a good piece. Super happy to get these. I'm not going to focus on this for community guidelines, but I am a kindred spirit, and we'll be using those in our life, if not on the stream. Hey, y'all, what's up? Good to see you, Mika. Hope to see you again this week. This is the aforementioned emergency card routine. So in this thing, a signed card appears inside a box that's been in full view the entire time. Super jazzed to experiment with that, as it's gotten some wonderful reviews. This I've heard wonderful things about. This is the Gaffed Lighter project. And I guess this is a way to gaff your lighters for basically paddle move tricks. There's one more thing in here I'm going to pull out, but I did, assuming this would be in here. Let's talk about the paddle move briefly. This is something that y'all have seen me do, but not with the lighters. You've seen me do this with, oh, what is this? There's two warning labels on this. My good friend Warpo does about 6 minutes with this warning label. Let me just make it vanish. And you do that with the paddle move. You apparently show one side of a thing, but you're actually showing the same side twice as you rotate it. And this package includes a lot of things. You know what I'm thinking is probably warranted here is to go through each of these in a detailed fashion at a later date. So maybe in the future we'll have a Volpine special where I perform some of these routines that I'm not just unboxing. But I couldn't really wait. I'm such a magic geek that I decided instead of waiting, I just put it on this show and then I could open this box of fun. Yeah, Jay, this is a good looking piece. Let me tell you right now, it just feels like quality in my hands. I don't know what's in here, but oh, it's so cute. Look at this. Let's compare this to a deck of cards. So like having something like this in your pocket is totally manageable. What a quaint prop for a magician to introduce prior to a show. And then you get this wonderful moment where the playing card appears inside the box. Wow, I love it. What a fun piece. Yeah, I'm a magic geek. I might be over enthusiastic about my art. It is what it is. All right, here, let's get this last thing out of here because this, oh, baby. Look at this. It's the amazing coffee cups and beans. Get this. Yeah, coffee. Okay, Jay, we need to get there we go. You're out of here. Wow. Now, originally I was like hesitant to spend. Set that there for now. I was maybe a little hesitant to spend hundreds of dollars on, well, I explained why. But look at the value here. Oh, all right. We're making a mess, but man, no, I'm not going to go through all of these pieces because there is secret things in here that I do not want to expose. But maybe we'll just expose just a tiny bit so you guys can understand. This is a servant shelf. These are custom cups and large coffee beans, which you will use in place of the magician's ball, and larger beans, which you can use for productions, I'm assuming. But hey, the real stuff here is what's here. And this is the loading. It's the loading mechanism. That's all I'm going to show of that. It's magnetic and it loads off the shelf. I said too much. Look, this screams quality to me. And I don't think I've been more excited to put a routine together than this one. So Jay, let me put a banner. If you're in a little late, what we're talking about here today is Vulpine Creations. This is Adam Wilbur's site, Vulpine Creations. And do we have the ability? Nope. We'll just you can find them, right? Vulpine. It's searchable. It's there. And it's recommended. All right. So, boy, that was fun. Little impromptu unboxing. I'll piece this stuff back together post-stream. I figured, wow, I can just share a little bit of my life with you. It doesn't have to be all Magic Camp. All right, let's get back to the agenda at hand. Unless there was any questions, I guess we could. Am I missing any questions on this? So we got, the Adam Wilbur stuff screams quality. Yep. I knew I needed it, Jake. I just had to refrain, and then the magic gods looked out for me. Agreed. I'll go spend some money with Adam. I don't think you're going to be disappointed if you do that. Hey, you could also spend money with me. I guess I could promote my own stuff. This is where I offer magic wares on the interwebs, conjure.com. I'm going to feature an item here today that I've been offering, and I'm going to give this item away this week. This is the Conn Man Kit. Conn Man Kit. This is 5 items, and one viewer this week will win this Conn Man Kit. I'm going to give it away on Friday. It includes a scotch and soda, some trick dice, the 3-shell game, a set of mark cards, and Daryl's Ultra Monty. Yeah, these are accessible to the beginner, easy to use, but these are all things that you can grow with. And if nothing else, they're all things that you can cheat your friends with. So it's the kit that pays for itself. And if you're winning it for free, well, congratulations on your windfall. So Jay wants to know, where do I sign up? Well, here's what you're going to do. Every day, I'm going to do a different trick from this kit. Today, we're going to do a trick with the dice. And each day that I do a trick with said trick from said kit, what you're going to want to do is comment about that prop in this stream. So in the comment section below, you're going to want to comment something about dice. And the more you comment daily, the more entries you'll get for the giveaway on Friday. And that's what I've concocted for this week's giveaway, for lack of a better subject or a better process. That's right. We're just making this up as we go. So as I was saying, today we're talking about dice tricks. Now, these are not the dice that you get with this Con Man kit. These are regular dice, and you might choose to do something with this. We're talking about the paddle move. You might choose to do something. How does this go? We're going old school with this version. This is a paddle move dice trick. Remember what we were doing with the lighter? You can do the same thing with the dice. Look, there's 6s on the front. What's on the back? 5s. How are we going to show this, Mr. Conn? 6s on the front, 5s on the back. 6s and 5s. If you do 6 minus 5, 6 minus 5 is 1. What? Yeah, 6 minus 5. 6 minus 5 is 1. Okay, that's awkward. Not really ready for that. Here's what we really needed. We need this glass, we need the prediction, and we need my grocery list. Yeah, we're doing magic with the grocery list. What I want to do here is show you with a little thought and a little presentation how you can take something that's really a $5 plastic magic trick and create an effect that potentially you could play on stage for, 5,000 people. Today, I'm playing it live on the YouTube, and here we go with the, I don't know what to call this, the grocery list prediction of mystery. There, that's dramatics. If you're watching at home, you should go ooh and ah right now. So. All right, I have my grocery list. I mean, it's not really that, but you can pretend it is. And imagine if this were an impromptu scene at your house. We have the prediction of mystery. Ooh. And now we have a random number. So whatever number we get, I'll just shake it up. And what do we got here? Well, what do you know? It's an 11. How lucky. 6 plus 5, that is 11. And yeah, you got it. If you look at number 11 on my shopping list, and it really could have been any one of these, number 11 is peaches. It's a random number. And indeed, my prediction, yep, at $1.89 a pound, there it is. I predicted peaches. $1.89 a pound. It's a gag, but it is peaches. It's $1.89 a pound, and this is your lucky dice grocery list card trick de jour. What? Look, this right here has value. I like it. I like how Martin's pointing out the obvious after we introduce trick dice. And technically, that's not correct, sir. That is an incorrect guess. They are not all 11. So if you just do the barcode gag, like that's a win. But then when you can force the item and add the punch to the back, and what I did there, because that's what they called 7 or 11 dice, bro. So they can actually be 7 as well. So it's not the same every time. It could be 7 or 11. It can also be 6 if they stack on top of each other. So what I did for the prediction here, what do I have on the prediction? Well, look, I've got apples at 7. I've got peaches at 11. And now you know how to make the lucky dice trick work for you if you win it. And hey, if you want to win it, like I said, make a comment in the comment section, not on the live video, but in the comments, because we're going to spin the wheel. I'm going to add all the names. I'm going to have my wife add all the names, and and we'll spin the wheel with her hard work moving forward. Now, All right, what's on my list here? What have I not done that I wanted to do today? We got to do some camper requests and some pro tips. Here, let me give my pro tip. And this is kind of when I want to have my guest on stream to offer their perspective, their pro tips. Jimmy talking about street performance, Steve talking about card magic, Alexander talking about anything magical. Maybe Mike Darnell will talk to us about winning magic contest. He knows a lot about that. Today, I'm offering a little knowledge from my mind about what I think is one of the more important things for a performing magi. And really, it's an important thing for humans in general. And it's this: use people's names. You're going to want to get their name, you're going to want to remember the name, and then you're going to want to use the name. I'm just going to talk about this just a little bit briefly, and maybe through doing so, this little camp session will make you a better magician and a better human. So, first and foremost, you hear people say, well, I can't remember names. I'm horrible with names. I can't. Well, you're probably horrible with names because you don't try to remember them. It's just as simple as that, really. If you make an effort to remember the name, you'll probably remember it. If you meet someone and don't put an effort in remembering it, well, you probably forget it. So there's a few things you can do to maybe remember the name. Now, my favorite one, and I recommend this, is the association technique. So when someone tells you their name, what you want to do is associate that name with what I choose is someone in my life. So if someone's name is Bob, well, then I might associate them with my Uncle Robert, who has big glasses and bushy hair. So I put big glasses and bushy hair on this person that's just said their name is Rob. Now I remember they look like my Uncle Rob. Now I've made an effort to remember their name. Now, in addition to that, I'm going to repeat their name. Oh, hi, Rob. Nice to meet you. My name's Doug. Is it Rob with a Z or Rob with a Q? Anything you can say to repeat their name once or twice, that'll lock the name in. And then you now have power. And this is the power in particular, if you're a magician, of direction. And people ask me about this all the time. Misdirect, how do we misdirect people, or even presentation techniques? Well, let me tell you, if you know someone's name, you say, hey, Bob, they'll look at you. You say, Bob, what's your last name? You ask Bob a question with his name, they'll look at you. And if you can manage to do this with several people in your audience, or maybe you follow Doc Eason's lead, and this is where it was really drilled in my head, learn everyone's name. You remember 20 people's name and use it all throughout your performance, you're going to be a stronger magician, and people are going to remember you for who you are moving forward. So there's your pro tip from me today. Short but sweet, intentionally so. I think you're going to hear me ramble enough this week. Didn't want to ramble down the line too far today, and that's that. Now, also on these camper quests, I intend to take some requests from students. And today we're taking a request about the Jordan count. The Jordan count. And this is a card move that I mentioned on the preview the other day. And we'll get some sevens and a jack. I did a preview of this session last week. We'll talk about this move in just a second. Let me go through the chats here and see what I'm missing in the chat. We're missing puns from Jesse. So yeah, Jeff, it is, let me say this technique, and really just using one die, you could use all the same. This is a forcing procedure that was popularized by Tom Stone of Dice and Men, and it actually goes back to Andy Nyman, who had this routine, the hug kill routine. You put a dice in a cup, have the audience member shake it, and just look down into the top of the cup. And they can only see the top of the dice if they do that. I figured, hey, if you put two in there, you could do that. And I'll tell you what, Jeff, if you want the real win on the grocery list routine, here's what you really do. You use digital force bag. You make a notes list on your phone. You can have 100 items in your grocery list, and then someone just says a number from 1 to 100. That's a great way to do that trick, but I digress. And thank you for the kind words. Yeah, sounds like me. Gambling and rolling dice. Okay. All right, let's move on. Enough of the dice chat. So today we're going to, what I'm going to do is talk about 3 counts that work well together. Also going to talk about the counts that came before them and maybe some of the counts that you might work on moving on. Now, all of these are generally inspired from Alex Elmsley's popular count. And what this does is conceal the card in the 3rd position. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 cards. The Elmsley count conceals that 3rd card. So I'm counting 4 as 4, and that's what Elmsley called it, the 4 is 4 count or the ghost count, and it conceals 1 card. Now, I'll briefly discuss this. There's tons of tutorials on this on the internet. I just pull 1 card into my hand. As I come for the 2nd card, my thumb pushes 2 off over here. So it's got that face-up card, below the face-down card. As I take that into the hand, the original card I counted first goes back to the bottom of the packet. So I'm going to pull off the double as the original goes back to the bottom here. And then you just count 3, 4. So that's the Elmsley count. Pull 1, put it back as you push 2, pull those 2, and then 3, 4. So that'll leave you with the card face down on the bottom. And this is the Jordan count procedure. And this is what the Jordan count looks like. And yeah, Jay, I use bicycles when I'm working as a professional, and this is what I'll use more often than not when I'm, handling cards. So the Jordan count starts with at the bottom, looks the same. That's 1, that's 2, that's 3, that's 4. That puts us in the position for the Elmsley count, and we're going to talk about the Jordan count mechanics now. Let me talk first of all about Jordan. He created this count in 1919. He had a book called 30 Card Mysteries before anyone knew what a packet trick was. Charles Jordan put this on the map. It would be reinvented by Ed Marlowe as the flexible count, and Norman Houghton put it in Ibidem. They were all following Alex Elmsley. It was really Charles Jordan who brought the false count to the table, and there's your magic history lesson about false counts. So Jordan count, it's on the bottom of the packet. On the bottom of the packet, you pull the first card into your hand. That's a clean pull. Then you pull the 2nd card into your hand. That's a clean pull. Now here's the sneaky business. Put everything here on the bottom and then push everything above the bottom with your thumb. So it's the top 3 cards. It's called a block push-off. And then that gets counted as number 3, and then the last count is number 4, which puts us in position for that Elmsley count, 1, 2, 3, 4, which puts us in position for the Jordan count. One more time. Jesse, I'm not going to the dark side. No Fontaines. Hey, Jay, thanks for joining the membership, bro. I appreciate that. And if y'all don't know, I have a membership. Now you know. I have advanced tutorials where I do teach a lot of advanced stuff on the platform. One more time on the Jordan count. Pull 1 off the top. Notice how I'm in a pinch grip over here, ready to pinch blocks multiples. Pull 1 off the top, and I'm pulling into a dealing grip. Pull another one off the top. Square everything up underneath as you push the top 3. Take those, and then the last one. And now you're in Elmsley count position. And when you learn to do these both, you can go from Elmsley count to Jordan count. And this is a great way to practice these 2 moves. Now, I'm going to encourage you to practice with both hands as you do this. There will be routines where, for example, you're doing an Elmsley count and you can cover an index. Notice how if I move this card to the front, my thumb base covers the index on this Jack of Diamonds, right? So there'll be some times where you want to count the cards to this hand to cleanly display them. And there'll be other times where you want to count them into this hand, maybe to conceal some of the indice on the card. Also, I think I should mention the OPEC count, which is something we talked about briefly last week. This is an out of position Elmsley count. OPEC, out position Elmsley count, OPEC. And here it's second from the top. And for this count, you start by first counting the bottom card. So while the inclination is to peel from the top, Here, we're going to take a card from the bottom as we count 1. So that's the beat. It's 1 card. Then we do a block push off here of the top 2. So that's the face up card beneath it. So that's 1. Now, as we count this card, I'm going to reclaim the original, like in the Elmsley count. So I put this on the bottom as I peel the 2 off, and then it's 3 and 4 to finish the count. So that's the OPEC count, or the out of position Elmsley count. That's 1 off the bottom, multiple block as you claim the original, 3 and 4. That's the Jordan count position, 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's the Elmsley count position. And that is all of the counts. Now, actually, let me refrain. That is not all of the counts. I want to talk about two more counts that I think are important for the student moving forward. The first one is the I count, E-Y-E, I. This was the inspiration for Alex Elmsley's Elmsley count originally. It's just a 3-card count, and one of the cards will be hidden as you apparently count 1, 2, 3. And it probably went more like this. 1, 2, 3. It's the same mechanics as the Elmsley count. You have 1 card face up. I'm pulling 1 card, pulling 1 card into my hand. A word on this, when you're pulling 1 card first, you can break this card with your thumb a little bit off to the side to allow you to pull this card cleanly. This is a tip that Alex Elmsley introduces in the collected works. Look, that's 1, put it back, push 2, and 3. So that's the I count, 1, 2, 3. Edward Victor's I count originally inspired Alex Elmsley, and it's super worth noting that you can do this as a 2 as 4 count. Now, this is not currently in my active repertoire. Let's see how this looks. Can we make it look like 1, 2? Nope, it's not like that. It's like this. 1, nope, one more try for the Gipper. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so that's fair at best, but that's the 2 as 4 count, where you're just counting the same 2 cards over and over. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I know what I'm going to be practicing later today. That needs work. All right, boy, that was a lot of blabbering. It's been a lot of blabbering today. What are we at here? What are we at? 37 minutes. Planned on a loose 45 for these events. And as I said, moving forward, there'll be guests here for you to ask questions and talk about. I'm going to perform one more piece for you that used most of the counts that I just described. It's a piece that is featured on my tutorials for my advanced members. So if you have access to that, you're going to want to look for the sympathetic cards. And hey, Kraft, I'll tell you what I'm going to do here. I'm going to do this trick. And after I do this, I'm going to take 5 or 10 minutes, maybe more if you want. We'll see what kind of questions you guys come up with. Maybe we'll take an hour. Right? I'm on no time frame. Again, we'll talk. Okay, so Jay, you're going to just comment after the video. Comment in below. That's what. So I don't know if you can do that during the stream. I think you can. So just in the comment section. All right, let's bring this thing home with what is actually one of the oldest tricks in my repertoire. I learned this from Tom Bemis. He's a Cincinnati magician. I learned this from Tom Bemis when I was, I think, 16. Tom taught me this thing in his basement. Good time. So I've been doing this trick, 35 years, something like that. It's a story trick. It's a story about 2 sets of identical quadruplicates. Yeah, identical quadruplicates. So four brothers, and over here they're identical twin quads. And they would perform this sympathetic jack act. Yeah, the sympathetic jack act. Here's how it goes. Some of the jacks would start face up. One of the face down cards would jump off the face up pile. And then in sympathy, Jordan count, all of the face up cards would turn face down. And you could do this backwards as well, with one of the face up cards jumping off one of the face down packets, and Biddle count. It's the Biddle group count. All the face down cards turn face up. Now, I know that happened kind of fast. You maybe weren't ready for that. I'm going to repeat the illusion here with one of the face down cards going off the face up packet, causing all the face up cards to turn face down, and one of the face up cards going off the face down packet, causing all the face down cards that turn face up. Now, this is the sympathetic Jack act as it was performed for many moons. Eventually, as these things tend to go, some of the cards started joking around. They were able to influence some of the other cards, Elmsley Count, to join them. Yeah. Oh, some of the cards were reluctant to turn, but in the end, yeah, they got them all. Although the Jacks did have a plan. They had a plan. They thought maybe with a little influence, they could change the jokers back into Jacks. Yeah, back into Jacks. And it was a good plan that worked. It worked well for a while, but ultimately the act was doomed for failure, as not only were these cards a bunch of jokers, but all the Jacks actually came from different backgrounds. Yeah, I went there. They came from different backgrounds. So, hey, the act never really amounted to much. That's my story. I'm stuck with it. And hey, I hope you liked it. The sympathetic cards. We thank many people for that, but that's actually a Ronet routine. Ronet, who Swiss magician, didn't publish a lot, but he released that trick through Emerson and West, and not available currently. Fun Inc. bought the rights to that. They don't sell the trick anymore. Put a little tutorial up a few, month or two ago. It's up there if you're a member of the YouTube dealio, and if you're not a member, it's only $5. You help the jam, you learn a little bit, and there's a couple other dozen routines. There's like 24 tutorials and a bunch of live sessions that you get. And I'll be doing a live session this week. We're going to pick one of the days after one of these live events. I'll go live a couple hours later. I'm thinking the day Steve is here, which will be Wednesday. So yeah, we'll do a members live session with Steve Reynolds, and then we can just go down the rabbit hole and talk about all the craziness that Steve knows. And he knows a lot. So stay tuned for that Wednesday. Tomorrow, Jimmy talks a lot. Thursday, questionable. Lots of options. Friday, Alexander. And that's what's going to happen. Oh, merci beaucoup, Cat. And good to see you always. Double Cat. It's a good trick and attainable. Elmsley counts. Jordan counts. It's not a hard routine. Yeah, I think Gryffindor wins today. No doubt about that. And now this shirt's a tax write-off. And yeah, just doing my job. Just doing my job here, folks. All right, so now this is where, if you want, we can talk about whatever you'd like. Open season, and all you got to do is ask. What'd you do, Matthew? Your first song? So you have a card trick that's a song. Interesting. I'm envisioning like a Sam the Bellhops style routine. What's my favorite magician? Is that a who or a what? A what would be a prestidigitator. Someone that uses skill. Legerdemain, en français. Who would that be? David Williamson. He's my favorite living magician. So go look him up if you haven't. All-time favorite, Tommy Wonder, another prestidigitator, but he used anything. Thibodeau wants to know, or Thibaut Schumacher, do I also perform on the stage? So I do, but it's not my favorite. So I've always been a close-up magician, which is a whole different ballpark than performing on a stage where there's a fourth wall. In close-up magic, I can touch people. They can touch me. We can smell each other. Things are intimate, It's a different dynamic that I enjoy more. And yeah, I'll get on the stage, but you probably got to pay me to do it, as it's not my favorite thing. Favorite magic trick? Top 3. I'll give you that. Sponge bunnies, if I had to do just one. Favorite card trick's the invisible deck. My all-time favorite magic trick is the bare-handed coin assembly, or chink-a-chink, or matrix, shadow coins. Do you do any homing card routines? Wow, I've played with lots of them. The one that comes to mind for me is John Gustafaro's Homage to Homing. Not currently in my working repertoire. So I don't currently. If I had to recommend one, John Gustafaro. Matthew's working on the Alexander Hamilton. You know, buddy, I haven't forgot. You've asked me to return and teach that trick, and I haven't forgot about it, but I'm not ready yet. I look forward to seeing your rendition. Oh, yeah, that is a good suggestion. Veronin, he is funny. It's rare you get a good original comedy magician. He is a good one. You're right. So, Gary, this is a good question. When you're working outdoors, how do you keep cards from blowing away? So, what I use, maybe we can promote a product while I tell you what I do. I keep it in here. I keep my variable tension grippers in this purse. You guys have seen me use this before. This is Brent Braun's FPS purse. So you keep your Sharpies in here. And then I also keep these in here, right? This is a file band. You'll see how it stretches to go over my close-up pad. So now when it's windy, that's where the cards go. They go under the band. Also, in general, I structure routines where the cards are not going to be placed on the table because they will blow away, but that's the answer. Also, often we'll use a bungee cord. So that's the answer to that. All right, Jeff. You know, I have not forgot your request. I'm going to save this for a future event as I want to give this the time it deserves. But you know what I'm going to say here? I think a lot of people put too much focus on some of the weird techniques, the wand spins, the striking vanishes, and so on. There are times and places, and they're useful to use. Much more important just to develop good direction technique, nice natural palming. But yeah, I'm going to talk about all this in the future. Just let me wrap my head around it just a little bit more. Looking over questions. Always happy to hear kind words. Thank you all very much. So, Peter, we're doing this every day this week. Every day. So it's a week. Will I do it again? Let's see how this week goes. Maybe I don't make it past Wednesday. We don't know. Maybe today's it. We'll see how I feel after this. But no, a week. We're doing every day. Oh, there's a good trick. Good question. The beginning of the stream where I changed the color of the card box. That is this trick, Blue Illusion. It's a great trick, great visual. It's a Mark Mason release, like most things that Mark sells. It's striking. It's appealing. I don't think this is a practical item. I think if you take this item out into the real world, it's going to break pretty quick. So I'm going to hang on to this for social media and for quick moments like you saw today. But it's a $40 gaff, and I'm not going to put something like that in my repertoire that's going to break. And, you know, if you use these things, it's important to me as a professional that they hold up. I don't really use toppets. I don't really use pulls. I know about them, just don't use them. I'm usually performing in a vest and a t-shirt. And a vest and a t-shirt, just prohibitive to those. Thank you, Jeff. Is it prohibitive to those efforts? Jesse, I've seen you've been working out of Mark Wilson. I would encourage students to go follow your jam. And this is kind of a path that I took when I started teaching on the platform. And Mark Wilson is the best beginner's book. If you are a beginner and you don't know about the Mark Wilson course in magic, well, you're going to want to fix that mistake. This is the way you learn, folks. You read these things. You get into a book like this, and there's just like, you know, I sell this for less than $30 at conjure.com. It's a lifetime of information, and all you really need as a magician is right here. We'll be talking about other books as the week goes on as well. I do remember The Masked Magician, and I also remember thinking, not that big a deal. So yeah, I have a lot of my kindred spirits are worried about exposés, and like when I tell secrets on YouTube, I've heard some people, you know, have trouble with that. Some of my fellow magi. But the real secret is the secrets don't matter. It's the performance that matters. So yeah, Masked Magician, whatever. Hey, Karen, and thank you for that. It's a good moment. I get this question a lot. The most difficult trick is the one that I am currently learning. So for me, as I think about it, it's going to be the multiplying billiard balls because this is not in my active repertoire. Now I do things that other people would consider hard. Here, I'll do some for you now. It's like uh, I have some card techniques that I think are worth learning. I've talked about these on the platform. One of the techniques looks like this. Here's what the techniques looks like. That was it. And it's one of the most difficult techniques that you'll learn as a practicing card magician. This is called the pinky count. It's counting cards with the tip of your pinky off the top of the deck. So right off the top of the deck, I'm counting cards with the tip of my pinky, releasing them one at a time. And I can actually count deep into the deck. Let's see if we can get 26. Oh, 26. That's off by about 3. In general, I recommend people learn this move for a double lift, that's 2, or for additions or secret subtractions, 3 or 4. Then I do some tricks that require 10 or 12. So if you can get comfortable counting that, in addition to that, you'll be able to use the deck as an open index. Now, I combine this technique with the classic or the riffle pass. So often after I do my secret counts, I'll hold a break. What are we at here? The 6. Let's not get a 6. The 3 of the red 3. So now I'll use the pass to secretly shift into that situation. And that's another hard technique. So we're going to pinky count. What are we at there? A black 5. And then I'll riffle pass to get that card into situation. So there you go. There's some hard things. Pinky count and the pass. Both are worth your attention. Jeff, have you been listening? That's happening all week, man. Yes. They're going to, so tomorrow on StreamYard, I'm going to be welcoming Jimmy Talks a Lot. He's going to teach us about street magic. Wednesday, Steve Reynolds is going to be here. Like he's going to be in this chair. I'm going to be standing over here. And Steve's going to talk to us about card magic. And then we're going to have maybe an after session for members. And Friday, Alexander, same thing. It's going to be a fun time. I encourage you to show up. It'll be a good time, I promise. All right, what else, folks? We got anything else? I think in an hour, I'm overstaying my welcome. Does anyone want to watch me for an hour on YouTube? Does anyone want to watch me for 10 minutes on YouTube? We don't know. I'm not going to go over an hour today, I think. We're going to cut this off in the next 5 minutes. If you have something else you want to talk about, now's the chance to get it in. Yes, indeed. So here, we'll see if we can break this down. And that's Sybil with an S, cat. We can thank Chris Kinner for that. I'll do this in slow motion. So the deck's in, maybe this camera's better. The deck's in a dealing grip. The forefinger with the thumb at the back of the opposing hand, the forefinger lifts up about a fourth of the deck. Take that back. The forefinger lifts up about 2/3 of the deck, and then I'm not going to be able to talk through this slowly. I'll just do it slow, and you can watch and try and figure it out. So this finger picks up, the thumb lifts at the back, the second finger lifts up this. So this is kind of a standard, this is a standard Sybil opening. So it's here, here, then here. Then we're going to pivot the middle packet in between the, there's no way you're going to learn this. Let's just say I taught it and not. Look, Cap Casino, CapCasino, or play this back in slow motion, and I'll wish you the best. And again, that is a false symbol. There's 3 and the 6 on the top and below. And these actions will maintain the 3 and the 6 on the top and below. And that's the, woo! That's the Cat Casino false symbol. So, Mike, the productions I did earlier, after the false symbol, I used the Elmsley little finger spinner, which is just this action, right? Here's what I'm going to recommend. I'm doing this poorly. Let me recommend a good one-hand top palm tip. Do that first. Or if you're a waterfaller, the idea is to get a natural bend where the deck is bending. This is going to make these pinky actions like the one-hand top palm or this little finger spinner. It's going to make them flow a little better. So that's just my pinky. And you're going to want to do this. Maybe you could even do this before you do that to imply it comes out from the middle. So I did that. And then I also did this, which is the 2-card catch, just holding the cards above and below. And that's the name of that tune. Nice to be in the conversation, Pitar. I thank you for the kind words. And not yet. You know, you don't think the magic pays the bills, right? A little bit. Here. My familiar got trapped. I'm going to introduce you all to the big boy. Oof. Here, say hello to YouTube. This is the little bit. Harry Blackstone, the Dark Knight himself. Yeah. He cut me last week, man. He got me on my thumb pretty good. I'm just now healing up. We were playing Pity Pat, and he said, "Guess what, Papa? I cut you." A bit. Show everybody okay, you're too big. Him's a big boy. Him is a big boy. There we go. There's him's pretty face. So yeah, he hangs out while I'm working. But man, he is thick. Look at the thickness here. That's a lot of cat. All right. Thank you for your presence. We thank you for your presence. I'll let you out in a minute. All right. Well, I just peeked. It doesn't get better than that. What? You have 4? Man, I want to be at your house. He is spoiled. Well, he's also aggressive. Like I have 2 cats, and my other cat's skinny because he eats all the food. But he's happy, he's healthy, and he still gets around pretty good for a big guy. All right, y'all. Hey, we did an hour. I'm going to wrap it up at this point. As always, I thank you guys for spending some time with me. Going to be here all week, 1 p.m. Central Time. Looking really forward to having my guest on this week, and you should be looking forward to that as well. If you haven't dropped a comment in the video, you're going to want to do that. Just something with the word dice in it. I'm going to put your name in the giveaway. We're going to spin the wheel Friday for the Conn Man kit. That's like $800 worth of magic that I sell for the low price of $60 at conjure.com. You can consider shopping there to support the jam. Like, share, follow, appease the algorithm. If you haven't done that, that's going to be beneficial to all of us and maybe some future generations that might find these videos. I don't know. I'm thinking about 10 years from now, some 6-year-old finds this wealth of information and becomes the next David Copperfield. These are the dreams that I have, and this is why I'm doing this on the daily every day this week. Thanks again for hanging out with me, folks, and I'll see you tomorrow. It's going to be ciao for now. Au revoir.